National Electrical Code, or NEC, does contain requirements pertaining to ground fault circuit interrupter, or GFCI, protection for certain appliances, including some considerations for water heaters. Specifically, NEC Article 422.18 addresses GFCI protection. Article 422.18 states that all 120-volt single-phase, 15 and 20 ampere receptacle outlets installed in bathrooms shall be protected by a listed GFCI type circuit interrupter. This means that if a water heater is connected via a 120-volt receptacle in a bathroom, it must have GFCI protection. Article 422.18b broadens the scope, stating that kitchens and other locations where there is likely to be contact with water while standing on grounded surfaces shall require receptacles to be protected by GFCI-type circuit interrupters. If a water heater is plugged into a receptacle in such a location, GFCI protection is required. However, Article 422.18c provides an exception for 240-volt receptacle outlets. Receptacle outlets used for connection of cord and plug connected major household appliances such as refrigerators, freezers, dishwashers, and electric ranges, and receptacles installed in kitchens shall not be required to be protected by GFCI-type circuit interrupters. This generally exempts many common 240-volt water heater installations. It is important to note the exception for receptacle outlets installed in dwelling units that were permitted or approved prior to 1996 and in existing dwellings, unless required in 422.31e and 422.31f. The code also addresses cord and plug connected appliances in Article 422.18d, stating that cord and plug connected appliances that have a factory installed GFCI type circuit interrupter for the protection of the appliance are not required to be supplied from GFCI protected circuits. If a water heater has built-in GFCI protection, an additional GFCI breaker is not needed. Article 422.18e discusses dedicated appliance circuits. Dedicated circuits serving only certain appliances that regularly produce the load current for which they are rated shall be permitted without GFCI protection. This includes circuits serving panel boards for appliances rated 15 kilowatts or greater, 2-element cooktops, ranges, ovens, counter-mounted cooking units, and dumbwaiters. An exception clarifies that the cord and plug connection to an appliance shall not be subject to the provisions of 210.8A3 for attachment plugs. Finally, Article 422.18f addresses the replacement of receptacle outlets. Where replacement of the receptacle outlet is made in an existing dwelling unit, the receptacle shall comply with the requirements of the applicable edition of the NEC in effect at the time of replacement. This means that if you are replacing a receptacle for a water heater, you must adhere to the current NEC requirements regarding GFCI protection. To summarize, the NEC does require GFCI protection for water heaters in specific scenarios, particularly when they are connected via 120-volt receptacles in bathrooms or locations where water contact is likely. However, there are exceptions for 240-volt connections, appliances with built-in GFCI protection, and dedicated appliance circuits. Always consult the latest edition of the NEC in local codes, and consult with a qualified electrician to ensure compliance with all applicable regulations.